Hi, and welcome to the Codefresh Chronicles Academy Edition. Today, I will demo for you the Codefresh application dashboard. It's a single pane of glass that allows you to know all about all your application, no matter where you have deployed them. So let me show you what I mean by that. So here we are in the Codefresh UI, and you can see your application by clicking on the GitHub Apps menu. So here I can see all my applications that I have deployed in this demo account. And one of the first things we can look at is those applications are coming from multiple Argo CD instances. So it doesn't matter if you have one or many Argo CD on your cluster, you will be able to gather all that data in our UI. So the first thing I want to point out is, as you can see here, we have a fairly complete cluster filter to be able to look at application you care a little more about. So you can filter by name, the one that are having trouble, the different namespace and so on. And the nice thing about is each of those filters will give you a different URL that you can bookmark and come back very easily. The other thing I want to show is we have this notion of grouping that allows you to group application with whatever is important to you. So that could be for around the notion of different product you have, maybe different team, to make it easy to have access to those applications. So let's go look at my favorite application. So I've favored it to find it more easily. So here I have this Trio app dev. So let's click on it. And the first screen is basically the status of that application. So it shows me all the resources that are in place for that application. And I can, if I have a pod, for example, I can go look at some of those detail, obviously the manifest for that particular resources, if there is some event associated with it, and of course the log, like for a pod or something like that. So you have everything under your finger. The other thing you can see here is we've added recently this very nifty breadcrumb. So you can see the different applications that are in the same Git source. Git source is a concept by Codefresh. It's basically an apps of apps. It's a way to tell Argo to go monitor some of the repository. So in that particular repository, I have a bunch of different applications, and I can switch easily from one to the other. The other thing is we have now this notion of product. And so I have a product called Trio app where I've basically grouped together the different version of my application for my different environment. And so the same thing, I can go and switch very easily between the application I have in dev and in QA and in prod and so on. And in a different video, we will explore a little more about product and environment and how we can promote easily from one environment to another. So as I was saying, here we have the current status of my application, but I also want to be able to see the historical deployment of that particular application. So by clicking on the timeline here, I'm able to see all the deployment from that particular application over time, and I can click on any of those and go back in time to see what happened. So one of the added benefit we have in Codefresh is, in addition to show you what version of the container has been deployed. So here I went from version X to version Y, and in this case I'm using a canary deployment, and I can go look exactly at what happened in that very simple canary deployment. And if I were live, if my application was being processed right now, I would be able to interact with this canary deployment by either pausing or kind of speeding up and stuff like that, assuming I had the right permission. So as I was saying, in addition to have the information about what version of the container I am upgrading, we're also able to link information about what is in that container. So what issues, in this case Jira, I have fixed, what are the pull requests associated with it, who were the committer. I can even go back to the original build where my application was created, and see what happened. So I clone my repo, I build the container and then run some tests, and then here is a step where I'm basically connecting the software, the CI side, with the CD side. So we basically add some annotation on our image, regarding what branch is, and where my PR is, and and stuff like that. So that's where it is done. So in addition to this timeline, we also, of course, have access to the configuration for my application itself, in terms of the definition of that application. And here, the group I created where I'm deploying it, the option for syncing my application, and so on. So that's basically my dashboard for the application. So as I was mentioning, because we have information from different runtime, different Argo CD, we're able also to use those metrics for DORA across different Argo CD. So it's make it a lot easier to see what's happening in terms of my deployment. So the different metric for DORA are the velocity, how often do you deploy, how long does it take to go from a commit to a deployment, how good you are at deploying, how often do you fail, and when you fail, how good you are to recover and get back to basically to a green state. And again, here the same thing, you can filter for different application, different runtime, and so on, and look at your data from a daily point of view, or different time zone. And here you have a global view for the last 90 days. So give it a try and let us know what you think. Thank you for attending this demo of the application dashboard, and have a great day.